Thank you very much, and thank you to all of you for coming and joining us here. As you heard by the rather honest and still encouraging message by the opening speaker, we need to stand together during the months to come. The next year will be important for decision making, and it would be a shame to now, after we got the community together, to finish early. So there are on the one hand exciting times. So all these breakthroughs of the last 2 years that went through the press, they gave a boost to our field. The knowledge graph, semantic search, or Siri and Watson and translation, translation technology gave a push, changed the perception of language technology in the enlightened part of the IT, and created, by the way, you will see this in your university too, a demand for graduates, for skilled people. And the European IT community has growing. Now it has recognized challenges, I will repeat them, and a vision and an ambitious plan with a roadmap that we will discuss this afternoon. So the major challenges, you have seen them very many times, and we are still uniting behind them. And for the people here for the first time, I will repeat them once more, that we see especially as a task, as a challenge for language technology in Europe, as opposed to other regions, are the three: help to preserve the European cultural and linguistic diversity in the United Information and Knowledge Society, and to secure at affordable cost the free flow of information and thought across language boundaries, overcoming the last remaining borders in Europe, the language borders. And the third, to provide each language community with the most advanced technologies for communication, information, knowledge management, so that maintaining the mother tongue does not turn into a disadvantage. And so we view language technology, and this is now the interesting change, that we not everybody followed us in that, but if you look at the main gurus and visionaries of IT, now they are all following us. We view LT as key enabling technology, just in line with network technology, database or web technology. LT is playing an essential role in shaping the next generation of IT, and human language functionalities will be an integral part of future IT. So it's a key enabling technology. It will overcome communication barriers, will help us to deal with knowledge and so on. So you have seen that with the growing knowledge of the world. So there were 3 lines of actions that MetaNet assembled behind: the Meta Vision, building a community; Meta Share, you will hear more about it, building an open resource exchange infrastructure; and Meta Research, doing research and build bridges to neighboring research fields. And then there is the Meta Multilingual Europe Technology Alliance, that's much bigger than the Network of Excellence. That's now has more than 600 members from, I don't know, 500 organizations, but Georg will say more about it tomorrow. So we try to get together appropriate programs, actors, and support, and we started with MetaNet, had a Meta Council, went to user industry, policymakers, language communities, created Meta, the Meta Alliance, and then lined up with other organizations like GALA or EFNIL for the language communities, LT Innovate on the provider industries, GALA as user industries, and so these are examples, and many more connections were done. So standardization, ISO, and so then we created all these connections to the outside. And we gathered and promoted our case. We had several metaphora, and we had many, many more meetings that I won't go through here, because you will hear about all of this in detail in Berlin, at other places. Even presented our case to a working group on future internet at the European Parliament. Numerous events that we went to and had panel discussions and talks, so we addressed maybe more than 3,000 people we collected by now. And not counting like tourism sector, not counting people, counting people twice if they came twice. So, and at LREC we were there, and so on. So, and the network has grown. Now we have 60 partners in 34 countries. So some new partners have been admitted. I welcome them here. We may welcome them individually later in the course of the conference. We have collaboration agreements with other initiatives and large organizations, collaboration agreements with many projects, and the Meta Alliance is growing. You will hear today also about the successful series of white papers on early languages that are in publication at Springer. And one of the most important parts that will be discussed in the afternoon is the long way we took. Maybe we could have taken an easier way, but I don't think so, because you will hear this afternoon that many additions to the vision and planning process only came recently, very recently. So things were developing, I would say, until yesterday when we had the 4th meeting of the Language Technology Council. So out of these 3 vision groups, we had a vision paper, and out of that vision paper came the strategic research agenda that we are presenting in the afternoon. And now we have a first version of a roadmap staging the process with milestones. So the Meta Share achievements will also be discussed in an individual session. Meta Share, the platform for sharing resources widely and openly, is in existence with 13 repositories and already more than 1,300 language resources, and many more pledged and coming in. And we will discuss also in the course of this event a strategy of how to keep it sustainable, how not to make it dependent on individual projects that may end, that may end soon, not that may end, projects will end, that will end soon, and to make sure that this valuable infrastructure doesn't disappear. And meta research concentrated on 4 areas: bringing more semantics into translation, optimizing the division of labor in hybrid machine translation, exploiting context for translation, and improving the empirical base for empirical machine translation. And there were more than 50 publications now. This is a restricted thing in one project. This is not in all these. Hundreds and thousands of publications if you take all the members of Meta. This is this dedicated effort. We build bridges to a neighboring field, and a very promising initiative was started, and we hope to start another one in the same line on connecting tree banks of Europe. And we need to do similar things when it comes to lexical resources. There's some discussion into other places. So we need to have, out of research, together with the community, have initiatives that build on this network, and do something that is very, very hard to do otherwise, namely to really connect some of the most valuable resources that now lie unconnected. So the procedure is that we started with a vision, the strategic research agenda, and then now the roadmap. You see down there where we are today. We are almost in the middle of the year of 2012. The strategic research agenda you can all discuss and still have a word on, so nothing will be finalized without the final discussion of the community, although now already hundreds of people have contributed, you will see. And then you will see the first part, or the first skeleton, the first version of a roadmap. That still needs some more discussion until it's completely finalized. And finally, it will be a live document because it needs to adapt to the possibilities there are. We cannot make the roadmap without taking into account the resources that would be available. That connects again with the opening words by Thibaut Kleiner, for which I will thank him again. And I wish you all, and all of us, a very pleasant and especially a very fruitful, we really needed a very fruitful Meta Forum 2012.